Hello students, I am teacher Svetlana and in our today's lecture we will learn about pregnancy, placenta, parturition and lactation, which is covered in the chapter reproduction in lower and higher animals. So let's begin. Pregnancy. This is a condition, students, of carrying one or more embryos in the uterus. It is also called gestation. It refers to the period between fertilization of the egg up to parturition. The average period of pregnancy in human lasts for 266 days from fertilization or 280 days, counted from LMC, that is last menstruation cycle. This pregnancy period of approximately 9 months is divided into 3 trimesters of 3 months each. Let us have a look at the 3 trimesters of pregnancy. The first trimester, your student, is the image of the first trimester. It's a period from 0 to 12 week. It is the time of most radical change for both the mother and the embryo. During its first 2 to 4 weeks of development, the embryo obtains nutrition directly from the endometrium. The first trimester is the main period of organogenesis and the development of body organs. At 8 weeks, all the major structures of the adult are present in the rudimentary form and the embryo is called fetus. It is only 5 centimeters long. High levels of progesterone initiates changes in the mother's reproductive system. The maternal part of the placenta grows, the uterus becomes larger, ovulation and menstruation cycle stops. The second trimester. Have a look at this image here. It is from the period from 13 to 28 weeks. In the second trimesters, the uterus grows enough for the pregnancy to be obvious. The fetus is very active and grows to about 30 centimeters in length. Hormonal levels stabilize as SCG declines. The corpus luteum deteriorates and the placenta completely takes over the production of progesterone, which maintains pregnancy. The third and the final trimesters, have a look at this image here. It is from week 29 to 40. In the third trimesters, the fetus grows to about 3 to 4 kgs in weight and 50 centimeters in length. As the fetus grows, the uterus expands around it. The mother's abdominal organs become compressed and displaced, leading to frequent urination, digestive blockages, and strain in the back muscles. At the end of the third trimesters, the fetus becomes fully developed and is ready for parturition. Now students, let us have a look at the placenta. It is a flattened discoid organ in the uterus of a pregnant woman. Have a look at the image here. This is the image of the placenta. The placenta is a temporary, structural and functional connection between the fetal and the maternal circulation. The placenta facilitates the supply of oxygen and nutrients and also for the removal of carbon dioxide and excretory waste produced by the fetus. The placenta is attached to the wall of the uterus and to the baby's umbilical cord. Placenta is the only organ which is formed of tissues from two different individuals, that is the mother and the fetus. Part of the placenta contributed by the fetus is called as the fetal placenta and it is the chorionic villi. The other part, which is rich in blood supply shed by the mother. It is a part of the uterine wall termed as maternal placenta. Now let us have a look at the functions of placenta. The placenta also acts as an endocrine tissue and produces hormones like SCG, progesterone, estrogen, while relaxin is secreted by the ovary in the later phases of pregnancy. Level of HCG increases up to the end of first trimester and then it declines. By the end of the first trimester, progesterone is produced by the placenta. These hormones are required for fetal growth and maintenance of pregnancy. Now students, let us have a look at parturition. Parturition is the process of giving birth to a baby. The physical activities involved in parturition like uterine and abdominal contraction, dilation of the cervix and passage of baby are collectively called as labor. Here you have the image of the process of pasteurization. Pasteurization is controlled by a complex neuroendocrine mechanism. Signals arise from the fully formed uterus and placenta causes mild uterine contractions. It is accompanied by rise in estrogen progesterone ratio, increase in oxytocin receptors in the uterine muscles. They cause vigorous contraction of the myometrium of the uterus at the end of pregnancy. Students, the fully developed fetus gives signal for the uterine contractions by secreting the adrenocorticotropic hormone, which is also called as ACTH, from the pituitary and corticosteroids from the adrenal gland. This triggers release of oxytocin from the mother's pituitary gland, which acts on the uterine muscles of the mother and causes vigorous uterine contraction. So ultimately, because of this contraction, it leads to the expulsion of baby from the uterus. Students, let us have a look at the steps that are involved in pasteurization. The process of pasteurization is divided into 3 steps. The first step is the dilation stage. Here is the image of the 3 steps of pasteurization. This is the first step, that is called as the dilation state. Uterine contraction begins from top, forcing the baby towards the cervix. Contractions are accompanied by pain caused by compression of the blood vessels. Oxytocin induces uterine contractions. They become stronger and stronger due to stimulatory reflux. As the baby is pushed down in the uterus, its head comes to lie against the cervix, and hence the cervix gets dilated. The vagina also shows similar dilations. This stage of labor can normally last up to few hours. It ends in rupturing of the amniotic membrane of the fetus. The second stage in pasteurization is expulsion state. The uterine and abdominal contraction becomes stronger. In normal delivery, the fetus passes out through the cervix and the vagina with head in the forward direction. It takes 20 to 60 minutes. The umbilical cord is tied and cut off close to the baby's navel. See here in this image, you can see the stage 2 where the head is first coming out. So you have uterine contractions increase in strength and the infant is delivered. And the third stage is the afterbirth. After the delivery of the baby, the placenta separates from the uterus and is expelled out as afterbirth due to severe contractions of the uterus. This process happens within 10 to 45 minutes of delivery. Have a look at this image here. You can see the placenta is getting detached here. This is the umbilical cord. So the placenta is expelled as afterbirth. The next postpartum phenomenon, students, is lactation. The mammary glands of the female starts producing milk at the end of pregnancy by the process of lactation. Here in this image, we can see how this phenomenon of lactation takes place. Prolactin is the hormone which is responsible for production of milk. Lactation helps the mother in feeding the newborn baby. The fluid secreted by the mammary glands soon after childbirth is called as colostrum. Colostrum is the sticky and yellow fluid secreted by the mammary glands soon after childbirth. It contains proteins, lactose, and mother's antibodies, example IgA. The fat content in colostrum is low. The antibodies present in it help in developing resistance for the newborn baby at the time when its own immune response is not fully developed. So the first feeding that is given by the mother is rich in this milk, which is called as colostrum, and it is a good source of antibodies to the baby. Now, if you look at this image here, you can see what happens is a nervous path stimulated by the infant suckling. So when the infant suckles, the message goes to the anterior pituitary glands. This release prolactin and oxytocin hormones, and these hormones then give rise to the milk production, and the milk is ejected out. So this is how the phenomenon of lactation takes place. Thank you students for participating in this lecture. See you soon again with the next topic. Till then, take care, be safe and keep learning.